Now, my first question was the tattoo. My second question is, you're a Packers fan.
I am.
So they're not coming to Regina.
No.
How do you feel about that? They're going to Winnipeg.
To be honest, I would, looking at the ticket prices, I'd rather get in my car and drive to Green Bay or drive to Minnesota and see a real game, right? So it doesn't hurt my feelings. I think it would have been great for the city to have an NFL preseason game. I mean, that's just a whole nother level and incredible. But when you look at the logistics of it and being the night before a Rider game and all that, I mean, I get it, why it didn't work. Would it have been cool? Yes. But as a Packer fan, even though it's week 3 of the preseason, we probably would have saw Aaron Rodgers and whoever for a quarter, Devontae Adams, and the guys you want to see. But for me, I mean, last year I went to Monday Night Football in Minneapolis, and it was fantastic. I'd rather do that. Spend the extra, whatever it is, $500 if you're driving there, and see a real game. So, I mean, that as a big fan, that's where I would put my dollars, probably not in a preseason game. I mean, I say that, and if the game was here, maybe I would have bought them and gone. But, sure, it kind of sucks that it's not here, but it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. I'm okay with it.
I agree with every word you said. There's part of me that is disappointed, and, I'm sure I'm not going to make the Riders happy with me when I say this, and I don't mean any disrespect, because I know there were challenges, right? Mm-hmm. There were scheduling conflicts, and they obviously felt like there just wasn't enough in it for them to dive in with both feet and really try to make this thing work. But, when we were all pro Mosaic Stadium and, trying to get the stadium built, one of the selling features that kept coming up over and over and over again from the Riders was that this is going to be an opportunity to attract all kinds of different events. And so it's just a little bit disappointing that we could have had that game and now our competitor is going to get it when the Oakland Raiders wanted to do it in Regina. There has to be a way that they could have made this thing work if the team really wanted to get it done. In saying that, I don't think this is going to be like this huge event that everybody thinks. I really don't. I just don't. I mean, any game would have been better than nothing. I clearly would have went, and I would have coughed up the couple $100 to get a ticket for a preseason game, which I'm not a huge preseason guy. Yeah. I'm with you. I'd rather spend the money. And I mean, I went to Minnesota last year with my son, and that was one of the greatest moments of our life. So I'm with you. But I think people that think that this is just going to be an automatic sellout in Winnipeg and people are going to be like they're going to put the tickets on sale at 10 o'clock and at 10:05, that stadium will be, I mean, come on. Not a chance. Not a chance.
I've been following it fairly closely, and from what I saw on Twitter yesterday, the upper bowl seats at IG Field sold out by 5 o'clock.
They were
yesterday.
like $75 or something.
Yeah, or supper time.
Yeah.
Now, the lower ones, the sports doctor, Dave Pedersen, who's going to be sitting in one of those chairs tomorrow morning, he bought 4 at $341 a pop.
Wow.
And I think they're, it's business stuff. A lot of times it's businesses that need to pay for these things, not per se the fans. But one thing. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, we went to Monday Night Football last year in Minneapolis and paid less than that for a Monday Night Football game.
My ticket was $90.
So that's your correlation, right? You're seeing for real, right? On Monday night, prime time, marquee matchup. I saw the Vikings and Saints, which ended up being the preview of the NFC Championship. And so that, to me, if I'm going to go and I'm going to pay $200 to sit in the lower bowl, U.S., or go to Winnipeg and pay $300 to sit lower bowl to see a preseason game, I mean, there's no comparison, in my opinion.
It would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
Well, that's the point. This is like the live streaming argument. Depends what side of the fence you're on. Some are mad the Riders aren't live streaming the game. Some don't care, like me, because I'm going to be at the game. Same thing here. People are saying it's too much money. Craig writing in from Regina. Prices are outrageous for a preseason game. It'll be dressed like a seat night in the Peg. Well, who knows? At least they have the opportunity to sell it.
That's my point.
For sure.
With the Blues here, when they had their training camp in the early 80s, we still talk about that. At the time, my dad loaded up the station wagon and brought me and my 2 brothers and my mom in, and we watched the Blues and the Oilers in preseason back then. Gretzky and his Oilers, Brian Sutter and his Blues. We still remember it 38 years later, right? So here, people would have said, remember that Raiders game or when the Packers were here back in 2019? And also, I'm with you, Kelly, where that's why this stadium was built. That's what it was sold on, that we were going to get marquee events like this. And probably the thing that sunk me the most was I'm on the Monday Morning Quarterback website this morning, and down the side, it said, Packers Raiders to meet in preseason in Winnipeg on the SportsIllustrated.com website. And I'm like, it would have been nice to say Packers Raiders meet in preseason in Regina. You want to talk about putting a city on the map? This would do that. You know, and I don't
Absolutely.
know. I don't know if the NFL's ever going to try coming back. I don't know.
That's
kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part, is because that was the whole point of this stadium, was that we want to do everything we can do to bring as many different events to the city as we possibly can. And you get an opportunity to bring an NFL preseason game, and it's kind of dismissed as, well, it's a bit of a pain in the ass and a bit of an inconvenience. We got to worry about the field. We got, like, I don't know. Maybe you know what? I could be wrong. Maybe the Saskatchewan Roughriders did everything they could possibly do to make this thing happen, but I don't think they did. The only thing I will say, though, again, is that I was reading something the other day on Twitter where some idiot was saying, you know, what a blown opportunity. This would have been twice as big as Garth Brooks. Are you kidding? Like, let's be realistic here. People are going to be driving from all over Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, North Dakota, South Dakota,
right.
Montana.
It's not just here.
They're going to be coming from all over the place to come to watch Garth Brooks, and probably half of the people, and by the way, I believe there will be more than one sold-out show. My understanding is there's probably going to be 2 or 3 that they've booked nights for.
They'll add them, yeah.
Right.
So
Aren't the Riders playing that weekend?
No, they're gone. That's
Okay.
That's why it had to be between like the 8th and the 23rd or whatever, because there's a 3-week or a 2.5-week window there. This thing if we would have had this game, there's no way that there would be 10, 15, 20,000 people from outside of Regina pouring into the city to watch the Oakland Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just keep it all in perspective. Yes, it's not a good thing. We should have had that game. It's disappointing that it wasn't. But this is not on the same level of economic failure that getting Garth Brooks for a couple of sold-out shows. I mean, not even close. So, like, let's not get too carried away here, is all I'm saying.
Your co-worker, Philsey, from the Pats, Kellen, writing in. You see that on Facebook?
Oh, Diz.
He says, outdoor NHL game has under 1,000 tickets left, according to Regina Exhibition Association Limited. Under 1,000 left.
That's incredible.
That is insane for the Jets and the Flames here on Friday.
See, that's something that I would get behind because it's a game that matters, right? That gets my heart going. Plus, I love hockey, obviously, but comparing a preseason, I don't care. It's the NFL, best league in the world, whatever. But if I can go see a game that matters compared to one that doesn't, I'm going to go to the one that matters.
What if Aaron Rodgers was to play in Regina, just to see him?
Oh, he'll be playing. It's week 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it's week.
Right, so it will be Aaron Rodgers.
It'll be a dress rehearsal.
It's going to be Antonio Brown. It's going to be Chucky on the sidelines.
I'll pay less for a ticket and pay to get to a city to watch him for real.
Okay, fair enough. But as Mrs. Rod Pedersen show said last night, she's like, well, you don't have to pay the money to travel to Green Bay. So think of the money you're saving by being able to watch him in your backyard, if you want to look at it that way. Because there's going to be a lot of people going from Saskatchewan to Winnipeg to watch the game. There will be.
Yeah, but I would say, and you know I love Mrs. Sports Cage, but the event, the atmosphere, the euphoria that surrounds an NFL game when you go to a city where the whole stadium is purple or the whole stadium is red or blue, and it's just it's night and day. Like, this is going to be one of those games where 85% of the people that are there don't even have a favorite team. They're just going like the same reason I would go, just because it's a great event. But it's not going to be that bring them out, like that just crazy energy that
How do we know? Yeah.
No, it won't be.
That's
Trust me.
part of the reason the Raiders wanted to have the game here was to grow their fan base out here. That's smart, right?
It's an attraction.
I guess probably why I was an Oilers fan through the 80s until August 9th, 1988, when they traded Wayne, was watching him play in Regina in the Agrodome with that Sure, he came in as the visitor playing the St. Louis Blues, but that's when your branding starts as a little kid with sports teams, and the Raiders wanted to do that.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.